Good morning. I got another coffee talk for you guys. Hopefully the echo is not too bad in this office, but I got trumped by the baby in the other room. She's got her swing and it's making noise. I didn't want to film next to that, and she wasn't going to get moved, which I wouldn't want her moved. So I got a coffee talk about, well, for one, I just want to point out all the pansy asses in the world right now. My goodness, it's getting tough. It's getting really tough, to be realistic. I think that's one reason I go through spurts of sharing and not, is because it's like all these freaking whiny babies. And then, people just can't handle anything. They don't want anything to be tough. They don't want anything to be tough for a horse. And I'm sorry, I disagree. I think life's tough. I think horses need to go through difficulty. And that's not to say abuse or anything like that. It's just some lessons are tough, and then they figure them out, and then they're better off for it. So are we. But this one's more specifically, I posted a video of me roping a horse in slow motion because it's freaking awesome. Looks amazing. This is a horse that was brought to me very, very well bred. Like, makes me proud that I'm good enough to receive such fine stock. But hasn't been handled much. Wouldn't let me halter him. I mean, he'd let me pet him, and then he'd like nip at me and run off or whatever. And look, you can play Liberty games all you want. Like, you can draw them in, you can send them, you can teach everything you want at Liberty. I get paid to do my job in a timely manner. So what I do is I save time. And so the point of this video is about what happens when you rope a horse. Do you lose all trust? Are they never gonna trust you again? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. It's like saying, what happens if you spank your kid when they're 3? Well, if you do it once when they're 3, they're probably never gonna remember. This horse, whether he remembers being roped or not is irrelevant. I will say, based on my experience, I've roped a lot of horses, and it generally has gotten me where I wanted to be faster and didn't have any negative effects that I could see. I have seen more negative effects, especially with a wilder horse, drawing them in too much, and then you go to teach them to be touched, and they get frustrated, so they use the answer they know, which is come at you, and now it's aggressive. The first time or two, it might not be aggressive. It might just be like they want you to leave, and they come up, and you back up, and then they go, hey, I gotcha. You backed up, and I'm going to move your feet. I've run into that problem more than roping one and them never trusting me because I roped them. Like, they'll not trust you because you whacked them on the nose too many times, or you punched him in the eye, or what I would consider maybe more abusive type things. Not to say I don't do those things if the situation warrants it, but like, if you're doing things like that without a reason, without a clear communication boundaries, I think a horse bumping into your elbow and stuff, they learn well from that. They kick each other to say, hey, get out of my space. Like, they understand a physical reprimand, especially when boundaries come into play. The roping them, this is where I see these comments and I laugh. It's like, that's the worst thing ever. And nobody said that specifically this time. They have said that, but I've been in those groups of people that they think roping them is so terrible, and it's just comical. It's like, what do you want for these horses? You want the easiest, softest, most nothing method there is. Like, I never want to see my horse struggle. It's like, is that really? Like, I have some of my best moments after a struggle. Like, I used to do CrossFit, and that's the kind of struggle I'm talking about. Like you're exerting yourself. It feels good afterwards. It helps your brain. Like, a lot of kids who are spoiled and really bad, if they go somewhere where they can get worked in a way where they don't have so much energy, there's people feeding these horses like they're going to go race the Kentucky Derby, and they do nothing with them. So they have all this energy, and the same thing happens to kids. And then they go somewhere where they use this in a positive way. They're working in a positive way. They're learning things while they're doing physical activity. That's what is starting to lack right there, if I'm being honest. Like, I have also not worked some of my horses enough. And right now I'm loping a lot of them a lot more. And I'm seeing a very good mental shift, very good physical shift, because part of what we're doing is getting them stronger physically, especially if we want to go show. But if you guys have seen negative effects of roping, please let me know, because I'm pretty sure the problem wasn't the roping. If you roped a horse and he never trusted you, it probably wasn't the roping. That's what I'll tell you. It could be that when you roped him, you whacked his eye, or when you roped him, you threw a lot of times and it hurt. You can throw a lot of times, and if it doesn't hurt them, pretty soon they're like, yeah, whatever, just keep throwing your rope. You roped them, and then the way you did your groundwork, you were not a person worthy of trust. Hey, those are all reasons, but the roping in itself, no, not a problem. Like, get over yourself. I really am almost scared for the world and what people are thinking is good. They want all difficulty taken out. They want life to be a vacation for them, their horse, their kids. Kids aren't having to learn boundaries anymore. Kids are growing up thinking they have rights and they get to do, and you got to treat me like I'm equal to you. And it's like, no, you're 18 and you're a worker and you need to stay in your lane until you learn some things and get a little better. It's getting tough. Like, you're going to see a lot less quality training on Facebook, and you're going to see a lot more of a fallacy training. Like, you're going to see the aftermath. You're going to see that I just raise my hand and they follow, and I just raise my hand this way and they follow. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Most of your horses don't want to work. They're just like us. Like, if we can be lazy, we're going to. That's how your horses are. So if you don't give them a reason to follow this and follow this, they're not going to. They don't want to. Now, there's some star students that'll do anything because you ask, because they're just good students. That's not the norm. That's not what rolls into my house very often. I'll tell you, this one I just roped, he's a smart son of a gun. Like, he is learning very fast, and he's pretty cool. And that the cool thing about what I do, I get to see a lot of different horses and learn. A lot of times it's not me, it's the horse. Like, when you've only trained 2 horses and one of them's not getting it, you blame yourself. Well, when you trained hundreds, you realize some of these things are not very smart. And some of them have bad attitudes. And some of them are bold in a bad way. I get a lot of colts, especially barrel racing babies, that are bold in a bad way. But when you get through to them, they get bold in a good way, and you can use it. Mustangs, a lot of Mustangs are like that too. So I'm gonna end it here. Roping is fine. If you think it's bad, I just don't know what to tell you, other than maybe your life's been too easy, or your life's been hard and you want everyone else's life to be easy, and that's actually kind of separate, but you just don't understand maybe how roping a horse works and how to do it with quality. And just like, a lot of times we don't like things because we don't understand how to do them with quality. And that might be where you're at, and that's okay. But don't get mad at someone else because they're doing something well with quality, with results, while you lack results, but you think you're doing it the right way. I see people now with about 4 years on a horse and it's still green. Why? Because they've made its life easy the whole time. They don't ever say, hey buddy, grow up. It's the real world. When I say go left, go left. I don't care if there's a tarp there. I don't care if there's some scary rock there. I said go left. You need to go left. At some point, you need to have a horse that listens to you when you ask. And so I'm seeing a lot more evergreen horses out there because people don't want to firm up. They want to be their horse's friend and be nice. And look, it's for me, it's more like a boss-employee relationship. Like, yes, I'm going to treat you with respect and be nice to you, but the more out of line you are, the less nice of a boss I am. Like, you need to do it when I ask, because otherwise you're going to get both of us killed, and that's not acceptable. So those are some thoughts there. It's kind of good to get back in front of the camera for a minute. Yeah, it's been good. I'm going to keep roping horses because it works and it's faster, and they learn how to give and how to lead. So we'll see you guys next time. Been a Coffee Talk. Thank you.